Ready to roll? All right. Good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, April the 10th, 6:31. The Board of Police Commission meeting is called to order. We have for the invocation, Chaplain Mark Hill via Zoom. You may be heard.
Amen. We'll go before the Lord in prayer. Lord, we thank you for this day. Truly, this is the day which you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we ask that you bless this meeting on today. Let there be unity in the atmosphere. Let there be peace. Lord, help every member to accomplish the goals that they set out. We ask that you bless this community right now in the name of Jesus. We ask for healing in their bodies, Lord, right now, understanding and wisdom. We give you praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. We do not have a quorum at this present time, so what we're going to do is go to the Chief of Police report. Deputy Chief Williams.
Through the chair, Deputy Chief Williams on behalf of Chief Todd Bettison. For this report, start off with some of the crime stats. So for homicides, we're down 7%. We've had 3 less homicides this year than we had last year. Non-fatal shootings were down 37%. We had 52 less non-fatal shootings this year than we had last year. For robberies, we're down 14%. We've had 36 less robberies this year than we had last year. And for carjackings, we're down 32%. We've had 9 less carjackings this year as we did last year. So we're still trending in the right direction. And again, we just look to continue to improve on those numbers. For case updates, we had a significant arrest, and this is concerning the case that I believe a lot of people are familiar with in the city, where we had 3 people who were found burned in a vehicle. Our deepest condolences go out to the family, and our investigators did a great job going after this one and continue to investigate. We do have a suspect in custody at this time, but the investigation is still ongoing. The 11th Precinct had a safety seminar, and we want to thank members of the community who came out. The 11th Precinct basically hosted an active assailant attacks in a house of worship seminar, and they did that on Saturday, April 5th. It was a great turnout, and a lot of useful safety tips were given to those who attended. For recruiting events, we had 3. Yesterday, the recruiting team attended a First Responders Career Expo in Windsor, Ontario, and the Career and Resource Fair at the Northwest Activity Center. On Friday, April 11th, there'll be a Crime Victims' Rights Week event at the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center, and our recruiters will be there as well. On Saturday, April 12th, the recruiting team will be at the College Expo 2025 at the Boys and Girls Club located at 16500 Tireman. The Public Safety Trust Fund Roundtable this week, Chief Bettison, along with Mayor Mike Duggan, House Speaker Matt Hall, hosted a roundtable discussion with other law enforcement agencies and lawmakers from across Southeast Michigan on the proposed Public Safety Trust Fund legislation. These bills will give police departments across the state additional funding every year to reduce crime. The money can be used for public safety initiatives like hiring more officers and investing in community violence intervention programs. Following the roundtable, Chief Bettison gave Speaker Hall and other lawmakers and law enforcement officials who attended a tour of the Real-Time Crime Center. Placing of pinwheels. For Child Abuse Awareness Month and recognition of Child Abuse Awareness Month, we invite the community to join the Special Victims Unit on the front lawn of Detroit Public Safety Headquarters on Tuesday, April 15th, 2025 at 10 a.m. to place pinwheels in honor of children in our community. The pinwheel represents the trauma and pain suffered by child victims. It is also a sign of resilience, hopefulness, and healing for a joyous future that every child deserves. The pinwheel also represents the responsibility each of us have to ensure a supportive and loving environment for the children in our communities. Through the chair, with that, that'll be the end of the chief's report, pending the questions of the board.
Yes, any Commissioners. Can you give the public an update? It's a video that's out there going viral of a young man had an interaction with the police, I believe, at a gas station. Everybody been sending me that video, and I'm sure that many board members probably have saw that surface. Can you give us a update on what action is being taken there?
Yes, again, through the chair. The actual incident happened on March 31st, around 3 a.m. at a gas station on the west side of Detroit. Officers were alerted just through observation. There was 2 males and 2 females appeared to be having some type of argument. The officers pulled up to investigate, and upon pulling up to investigate, they observed one of the black males, who is the subject of the actual video, reaching into the vehicle and placing the object in what appeared to be under the seat. The officers, upon further investigation, were able to discover there was a firearm that was recovered. They recovered the firearm, and at the point they recovered the firearm, they moved to place the suspect in custody. And that was the point where the use of force by the police was made. So he was resisting. The officers had to overcome his resistance. And just so everybody knows, whenever we use force, it's not a pretty thing. So the use of force was necessary because of the resistance they were facing. They were able to take him in custody. He has been arraigned. He's been arraigned and charged on having a concealed weapon and also for resisting and obstructing. And he was held, I believe, with a $25,000 personal bond. And just one more thing, too. The actual use of force that occurred is still under investigation as well.
Say that last part for me, please.
The use of force that actually occurred is being investigated as well.
Okay, and that's being investigated by Internal Affairs?
At this point, I'm not sure if it's Internal Affairs or the precinct itself.
Okay, yep, and we'll let the record reflect that our Chief OCI did receive a anonymous complaint today on that, and so Chief Investigator is handling that accordingly. Go ahead.
So, through the chair, was that the Linwood incident? Because I saw one where 2 officers were fighting with a...
No, so this was not Linwood.
Are you familiar with the Linwood situation?
I am not familiar with the
There's a
Linwood.
lot going on these videos, but the Linwood situation, 2 officers were wrestling with this suspect, and the suspect got away. So...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so,
saw that.
and there was another video where a police officer was on TikTok doing a dance to what some folks called, I don't know if it was was it boots on the ground? That's my deputy police commissioner, District 7.
Hey,
so
man, how you doing?
when she speak, I listen. I don't know what song, well, I think it was something by G-Mac Cash. So it's been a couple videos around, Deputy Chief, but okay, if you can get back to me, I appreciate it.
Will do. And through the chair, if I could, you said a police officer was dancing, seen on TikTok, and he was dancing to, what was that?
A local rapper, G-Mac Cash.
Thank you.
Yeah, I probably can show you the video. Yeah, somebody, not that one. The one with the Linwood episode. That's when the officer ran out of gas.
Ran out of gas.
Yeah, yeah. It was really, really tight situation, and you know, so it's unfortunate that a lot of this stuff, you know, these are real situations, live situations, and we appreciate you updating the community on that because, and people send it to me, ask if it happened today, and this is something that happened on the 31st of March, and it just catching up, but it's going viral out there, and so I wanted the department to be able to address that and see where we at in the investigation, and on both sides. You know, any other questions of the chief? There being no other questions, let's go to public comment. We don't have a quorum right now. Oh, no, right now, I want to thank, before we go to public comment, the commander of the 9th Precinct is here. Is he here? I want to thank you for being here, and we thank you for hosting us. And you have a new captain right there. Appreciate you guys being here and hosting us in the 9th Precinct today. But have at it, Commander.
Thank you, sir. Through the chair, I'd like to introduce the new captain of the 9th Precinct, John Stewart.
Absolutely.
Introduction.
Yeah, just happy to be here, man. Through the chair, appreciate the board appointing me a couple weeks ago. Just hit the ground running, and like I said, happy to be here, happy to serve.
Yeah, happy to have you.
All right, so you ready for my report out?
Yes, sir.
All right, the 9th Precinct, currently we're showing a 14.3% increase in homicides. That's 8 this year compared to 7 last year. Non-fatal shootings are down 51.9%. That's 14 cases. Sexual assaults are down 16.7%. That's 3 cases. Robberies down 34.2%. That's 13 cases. Carjacking, we're currently down 100%. That's 6 cases. We're currently at 0. Aggravated assault, we're down 17.6%, which is 60 cases. Motor vehicle theft down 27%, which is 70 cases. We're struggling in property crime. Burglary, we're currently up 21.5, which is 31 cases. And larceny, we're up 1.4%, which is 4 cases. Non-fatal shootings, we finished the last year, 2024, with a 9.4% decrease. The first quarter, we are sitting at a 40.9% decrease, and we are currently at a 51.9% decrease. Homicides, we finished 2024 with a 5.1 decrease. We finished the first quarter at the 14.3% increase, which was 1 case, and that is where we currently sit at 14.3% increase. Our strategy has shown an impact on non-fatal shootings, which is at a 52% decrease. Homicides have shown a slight increase with 14.3%. All violent crimes were down in 2024 except carjacking, which showed a 47% increase, was from 19 cases in 2023 to 28 in 2024, and currently with carjackings we are at a 100% decrease. Burglaries, like I said, we are up 21%. We are focusing with our detective unit on known suspects and with our partnership with the MDOC on home checks. To combat this trend, we have directed additional resources into the hotspots and directed patrol to our frequently affected businesses. Violent crime strategy, we've taken 246 illegal guns off the street. We have targeted enforcement with weekly restore order operations, partnerships with MDOC, homicide, gang intelligence, and major violators have shown increase in violent crime reduction. ShotSpotter, I'd like to highlight that. Currently, year to date, we are down 28% reduction in shooting incidents and 36% down in gunshots. Compared to 2023, when the program started, we are 49% reduction in shooting incidents and 51% reduction in gunshots. Currently, year to date, we have executed 45 search warrants in conjunction with ShotSpotter and recovered 54 firearms. Community engagement, our MPOs distribute gun locks, continuous meetings with community groups, and brotherhood and sisterhood programs. And to name just a few of our MPO programs, we have trick-or-treating events, turkey giveaways, Thanksgiving dinner, holiday parties, painting with a cop, adopt a family Christmas outreach, Christmas dinners, reading with little darlings program, community readings, anti-bully presentations, 9th Precinct Memorial for Fallen Officers, Brotherhood and Sisterhood Circle programs, Community Movie Day, Goodfellas, Black Family Development, National Police Week, Faith in Blue, National Night Out, and precinct fundraisers. And if I may, I'd like to introduce some of my MPOs who are here, or one of them who is here at the meeting today. And I'm Sergeant Harper's here somewhere too as well. But that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we miss you at the 10th precinct as a lieutenant.
I appreciate that.
9th precinct historically has been one of the most dangerous precincts, especially on the east side of Detroit, going even further Midwest. What are some needs that you think outside the box thinking, do you think that you can be given so that it can be safer in the 9th precinct?
I think one of the best things that former Chief White got was a shot spotter that covers the entire 9th precinct. Like I said, there's been a 48% reduction in shots fired in the 9th precinct, and those don't even, people are calling more often now because they're seeing our quick response. We're recovering evidence from those. We're developing a lot of leads on our cases off those shootings. So I think that shot spotter has been a great help in the precinct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? There being no more questions, thank you very much. We will go to public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 5 speakers in the audience. Our first speaker will be Mr. Dana Lund, Ms. Victoria Camille, Ms. Bernice Smith.
You ready?
You may be heard.
I know you guys know my face, my voice by now. All I want to say is, when I make these comments and everything and come up here and speak, and I do get phone calls, and the phone calls from some of the officers, it seems like they don't want to be bothered. I just want to stress and say I am human just like they are. Why is it that they act like they have a problem when I address you guys? When they call, the commander, I think his name is spelled S-V-A-C, he called and he acted like it was a problem for him to call. I just want to say I'm human just like they are. So if you don't want to call, they don't have to call me. I just want to always, and I'm going to continue to come up here and complain about it. I just want the police to understand, don't take the job if you can't do the job. It states they're supposed to serve and protect. If you can't do that job, don't take that job. That's all I'm saying. Serve and protect. If you give me respect, you're going to get respect. That's all I want to say. But they don't want to do it. Don't do a job if you can't do it. That's all I got to say. Because they're not doing their job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very kindly. Next speaker. Someone taking time down there? Oh, you are? All right, thank you.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
And good evening, community. My name is Victoria Camille. Couple things today. So in regards to I won't talk on this long, in regards to the embarrassment that the board had last week, my recommendation would be to have the staff provide weekly reports on any administrative activities in progress or planned related to open positions, as well as any recruiting, so that the entire board is aware of all the steps that are going on, and so that if anything is in progress that shouldn't be, that can be addressed before it goes too far. The next item that I have is in regards to an open citizen complaint that I have where DPD failed to follow multiple policy directives leading to the killing of Sherman Lee Butler in July of last year. So I would like a status of that complaint. And then last, City Council is considering an ordinance that is mandating the release of body-worn camera footage. And at the Public and Safety Committee this week, it was stated that the topic was being postponed because they're waiting for the board to have a conversation with Second Deputy Chief Ha. And so those of us who are advocating for this ordinance are wondering, why does that conversation need to happen? What is that conversation about? And will that conversation be held in public? Thank you.
Update on our complaint.
through the chair regarding the citizen complaint concerning the bailiff shooting. Our investigators have completed their work. This past Tuesday, we completed that, we presented that report at a the Citizens Complaint Committee meeting, and the chairman is in receipt of that report. He is reviewing it.
The chair of the Citizen Complaint Committee.
Thank you, through the chair. The chair of the Citizen Complaint Committee is reviewing that report, and as soon as he signs off of it, we will send it to the other board members, and the chair of this body will determine what to do with it at that point. Thank you.
Okay. You may be heard.
Thank you. Seems like I missed a lot last couple of weeks, but that's all right, I'll catch up. Good evening to everyone and to the neighborhood here, occupants. I'm Bernice Smith, known as Mother Bernice to the police department. I love them. I've been involved with them since '73 when I was on the crime committee when they had it named. But now that I'm still here and still complaining and fussing, because I want to know, and I'm glad, I've been crying all week just about of two things that's happening in our city. The incident about the mother, daughter, and the little girl in the burnt car, that was in the neighborhood where I raised my children on West Grand Boulevard, and they went to the school on 30th Street. I didn't even want to go over there to see that area, but I was in the area Sunday when I first heard about it. And my son, he told me, he said, "Mama, don't go over there." I said, "No, I'm not going." But I just want to know, women, I got three girls. I raised them to be decent, respectful girls. If a man don't do you right or mistreat you, leave him alone. I pray to you that you do this. You're not here on earth to be abused, beat up, take advantage of you. I'm telling, I want all these women to stop dealing with these men that want to abuse them. That's number one. The next thing, I want you men to be respectful to the women. If they don't want you, leave them alone. This man that did what he did this past week, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't need a trial. And he needs to be in the jail by himself in solitary confinement, feeding him once a day, and that's it. For him to think about, you know what I'm talking about, Woods.
No, we
I
don't
have to
support torture.
Well, that's the way I feel, because he shouldn't have done that to that young lady. He shouldn't have done it to that, and the baby too, and the mother.
Time is up.
Already?
Yes.
Damn. Anyway, to my police department, I love you all. You know I do. And I want you to be safe out there once you put that uniform on.
Absolutely.
Our next speakers will be Minister Eric Blunt and D4C AC Scotty Bowman. Then we'll go into Zoom.
Good evening, Board. I'm Minister Eric Blunt from Sacred Heart Catholic Church here in Detroit.
Good evening.
We have to be very honest. No one in this country should ever be executed without a fair trial. We have facial recognition in this city that misidentifies black people on a constant basis, okay? So unless you're a person of color that doesn't mind you or your relatives being executed, I suggest you support a fair and speedy trial. The embarrassing things of this week, another wrongful arrest and imprisonment using facial recognition technology and license plates reader, and then the firing and hiring of 6 employees just makes this place a laughing stock of the whole city. The video release ordinance, why not? Let's not forget that this is the same police department that started facial recognition technology without the approval of the board. So they can do things quick, fast, and in a hurry when they want to. And as we talk about video release, all we're saying is that we want the truth. And so many times, the truth is hidden because they turn off the cameras. And, oh, okay, turn off the cameras, we don't have enough evidence, case dismissed. No, no, no. As far as ShotSpotter is concerned, Chief Bedison said to me, and I'm sure he'll say it in public, because I hold back nothing, and I feel like everything I say and do is being recorded. But Chief Bedison admitted to me that a silencer on a gun can prevent ShotSpotter from ever detecting that shot. So, I mean, we're not talking 40, 50 years ago. Silencers were used a long time ago, and I'm sure they can be used now. The 9th Precinct, don't let anyone tell you you are the most dangerous precinct in this city. That is not true. Other precincts have private security forces that protect them over and beyond what they expect the police department to do. I guess my time is up. You starting to mumble?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right. Next speaker.
Yeah, hello. I'm Scotty Bowman. D4CAC is District 4 Community Advisory Council, elected position. I have constituents. I'm also founder of Detroit Residents Advancing Civilian Oversight and a member of the Coalition for Police Transparency and Accountability. Today, I'm really mainly concerned about the board's role of investigating those complaints. And I'm sure the secretary has been doing a good job, and I know Jerome Warfield is very concerned about the investigation of complaints as well. And I know for a fact that there's quite a backlog. I know of at least one that's probably 3 years old. Now, I don't know if they're prioritized the way calls are prioritized, where more severe complaints get kind of moved to a quicker investigation than some that are perhaps very minor. Mine was very minor, for instance. Perhaps, but there is a tremendous backlog, and I think it's unfair to the people who make the complaints that if they're legitimate, that their mistreatment is not addressed and that officers are not held accountability for that. It's unfair for the officers who were in the right and have this hanging over their head. It's unfair to the residents that expect to have their Board of Police Commissioners and the OCI get to all those complaints. Now, in my opinion, I hear a lot of talk about a lot of different things at these meetings, and whether you see me in person or not, I'm listening on Zoom. There's been times I've been on Zoom and I didn't get to speak. And I hear a lot of talk about a lot of things, but I think until those complaints are caught up, until we are current with the complaints, I say we as a city, that really, all the other things that are talked about that aren't directly prescribed to this group in the charter, you need to get to those things. Get to the complaints, because that is a core function. And I think there should be more transparency, and maybe there is. Maybe I'm missing, maybe I'm not looking at the right part of the website where we can see how many complaints are backlogged, how old is the oldest complaint, and so forth. I see the chair wishes to speak to me.
And you can stand there right there. Let me ask you this. When did you file your complaint?
I don't have the date right in my head, but I believe it was in 2022.
2022.
And it was a minor one. It was really just about a traffic incident where I did not think the report had addressed things accurately, and more importantly, that when I attempted to reach, because I was referred to the officer who wrote the report, when I attempted to reach the person, I had tried diligently over an extended period of time, never got a response. And that was really when I made a complaint to the BOPC. It was, gee, I'm not getting responses.
Pause 1 second. We're past 2022 complaints, right? Back in the backlog, right?
Through the chair, there are a few 2022 complaints that are still in our universe. So there are a few. However, I can look yours up, Mr. Bowman, and get back with you tomorrow on that. I remember looking it up before, and I thought we had finished that investigation, but I'll check. I'll recheck to make sure, and if you haven't heard from us, I guarantee you'll hear from us tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. And again, it's so old, I have trouble remembering the details.
Right.
But I guess my point is, there's backlog, and it's acknowledged
absolutely.
right here in front of us.
We don't shy from the fact that we have been working diligently and bringing in staff to do that. And when you see these folders, these are citizen complaints that the commissioners have to review. In fact, to date, he had 50 more to give over to the board, and they've been picking them up. Yeah, they've been rising in rapid numbers now, and so other plans are underway to be able to address this thing, and that's been a stickler for me because, like you said, it is the backbone of the Board of Police Commission, and to be able to deal with these complaints. These are very, very serious to us because they are something that the citizens took time to address and to complain about, and we definitely want them to be held in a sacred type of manner, you know. So thank you for your patience and your indulgence and your advocacy and your passion, and we continue to welcome it, you know, and rest assured you'll get a call back. However, you know, there's others that we are working on, and they are in the pipeline. And so you got to keep on working that until you get it done. You know, I came into this, and many of us came into this, and things happen, and things are being fixed to be able to deal with this. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Investigator, and Board.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'll go into Zoom now. Our first speaker is Torpedo. Our next speaker will be Ms. Crystal Rice.
Are you there?
Yeah, hey, Daryl Woods. You think it's funny? Listen to this and pay close attention. The President of the United States is Donald J. Trump. Now, I had somebody take to him that video of me standing on the porch with them talking to the Venezuelan immigrants at 12842 Sussex Street. I was back in July of 2024. Then again in August, I had someone take him personally to his, flew out to his rally and take him the allegations on voter fraud by anonymous citizen report done by Janice M. Winfrey, the Detroit City Clerk and chairperson of the Detroit Election Commission, the cheater and a liar. Now you came out your mouth with my name to somebody. You don't know who knows me. You don't know who I know. While you was over there in Ryan, and I told you to ask Mark about me. Mark McLeod, the one that was calling you on the phone that day, and you said his name with such reverence. Mark knows me. And I'm surprised he didn't tell you that I am one of the coldest. Now I'm gonna just put it out here. Keep my name out of your mouth. You don't know who I know. Now, when I saw you going up in the mayor's office, you was going in there to talk to that little leprechaun. See, it's a lot of things you don't know about me. I got a 40-year reputation around the city of Detroit on the streets of being stand-up 100. That's with the pastors and priests and the gangsters too, and the kids. So watch your mouth, Joker.
Okay. Lord Jesus, the one of the coldest hanging out with Donald Trump. You know, hey. Next speaker.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Crystal Rice. I recently moved back to Detroit after 13 years. And probably about 3 weeks after I moved in October of last year, I got carjacked at gunpoint. And I wanted to do a shout out to the 2nd Precinct for assisting me and helping me, as well as the task force that does the carjacking task force. I want to thank them personally for getting it done, because they did get 6 people, and they got the people. So I'm really glad at that. Another thing, I like to say the plus. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is Police Commissioner Liberty Smith, Tamira Liberty Smith. I know I'm a little late in the game with this because I work a lot, but I think it's very inappropriate for a police commissioner to be on videotaping a person who was involved in something with the two children that were found frozen to death in the casino. I think that's very distasteful, not just as a police commissioner, but as a mother. I don't think that was proper etiquette to be on. From what I know, and I know some people in the police department, you're not supposed to be on social media. I don't know what it is for the police commissioner, but for you to be videotaping, talking to radio stations, telling the girl's business, meeting someone at a nail shop and showing a video of her, I think is very distasteful on her end. And I think it's very rude. And then for her to say that she saw me, I haven't seen you in 2 years, but I'm sorry, a year, when you were at my cousin's event. And I think you need to focus on finding helping the community find their victims of that were murdered, like my cousin was murdered. The gentleman on Finkel, the young man, figure that out instead of videotaping a public service announcement for this girl to rant. I think that's inappropriate and unprofessional.
We're going to go next to Mr. Jadante Smith and former Commissioner William Davis.
Good afternoon. May I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so good afternoon. I hate to hear about the nasty words towards Commissioner Smith, but those words should have been directed towards other members on the board, like Commissioner Presley and also Commissioner Hernandez, for the terrible work that you guys have done in holding up motions, things of that nature. I do want to talk about the video release ordinance. That's going to be a very big thing because some officers don't even have body cameras on, as we learned from Lieutenant Brandon Cole, 25 years on the force. Not enough common sense to even have a body-worn camera on at a protest. Also, I want to say, I just seen a very disturbing video of 2 officers punching a young black male in his head, in the back of his body, while trying to arrest him. And he's the son of a Detroit police detective. Very, very terrible. That's how we get all these lawsuits. Also, the facial recognition and the lawsuits we're getting from that. ShotSpotter as well. We have all of this technology. We're still getting all of these lawsuits. Very ridiculous. Also, I feel like Brandon Cole has still not been, even though he was suspended for all that time, I feel like he's still in the same position. He's still a lieutenant. He also still has all of his rank and all of his pay. Very ridiculous to be able to do certain things that he's done, take political stances, take racist stances, and be a terror to the community and still hold your job. No other job can you do things like that and still hold your job. Also, when it comes to complaints, I filed several complaints over the years. I don't even get calls back on some of these complaints. And I think there are complaints that I filed in at least 2022, maybe even before, that I'm just now getting letters on from investigators. I understand there is a backlog, but the transparency behind that is still not there. It's kind of ridiculous how you file a complaint and you never know if it's followed up on, the officer's still in the streets, which we know they are still in the streets. But if they have severe complaints, they're still out there creating more situations where they can get more complaints. So you just never know. Also needs to be investigated just how that process is working. I know you're doing.
Mr. Chair, that's your last speaker.
Commissioner Davis is not there?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Davis, you may be heard.
Good afternoon. Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought you was going to overlook me again. It wouldn't be the first time. I think that actually I should have a process developed where y'all reach out to the people who file citizen complaints, that y'all reach out to them every 6 months, even if y'all haven't closed the case or thoroughly investigated. I think that's a problem in the fact that citizens need to be updated, at least know that y'all working or somebody is looking at it or doing something. And I think it's horrible that y'all have backlogs from 2022. Ideally, you shouldn't have anything over a year old. Also, is there a plan if y'all are about to get additional monies from the state to help is there a plan on how to use that? Is that going to be for these community groups to is helping the police, or is that going to be for additional officers, or is that going to be for additional neighborhood police officers? It would be good for more information to come. I'm sure there's already a plan. It'd be good for us to know what the plan is, because we need to be doing more in the community, in the neighborhoods. Because when I go downtown, because I go downtown a lot, I see a lot of police officers, but I don't see as many in the communities in the various districts outside of downtown, midtown, and Corktown. I think there's an opportunity to increase the number of police officers that's actually serving in the different precincts and not overdo it downtown. Also, I think that we need to make sure that we try to encourage more Detroit residents to be on the Detroit Police Department. I think the numbers are horrible about the number of officers that live outside the city and the number of command officers that live outside the city. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Miko Williams is the last speaker, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Miko Williams.
Yes, hi, can I be heard, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, hi. D'Amico Williams, I'm a private citizen, resident, taxpayer, legacy Detroiter. I would like to know if this body can tell me how many missing Black women and children there are in the city of Detroit, and what are the efforts and the process is to find them. Do they get Amber Alerts? Do they get any type of notification, or is there a blast sent out? And they don't have to be an emergency or a life-threatening situation, but that's connected to all the complaints that have gone unanswered. I ask this question at the council all the time, and I get no answer or response. And when I come here, I'm hoping that I can get those numbers so that we can find a way, so that we can find missing Black women and children instead of letting them, be found dead in cars or in homes or things of that nature. As well as I'm concerned, most definitely about what is this facial recognition for? I mean, we have so much surveillance in the city of Detroit. I wonder, do the cameras even work? How do you all monitor those cameras if you all have a shortage? How do you all manage to get the information and such if you can't get real-time information as to finding the location and whereabouts? I just heard about the shot spotter statistics and such. While I can believe that, it doesn't solve the crimes that should reduce to 15% or zero. I thought we were aiming for zero, but also the racism of this police department is out of control. You let Brandon Cole get back on the force. I don't give no care what he should be fired and removed. He'll be put under another department, but it's setting example. And this department, including its commissioners, have failed. Mostly.
Thank you very kindly. Can you, Deputy Chief, give an update as relates to the missings and how people can stay in tune with that? I know there's a process for the department. I believe vis-a-vis social media and other apparatus. So can you give us an update on that?
Through the chair, the department on a weekly basis posts the missing numbers. We post the year-to-date, how many missings we have, and then how many have been recovered. It's on the department's social media page on Facebook, and I believe it can also be accessed through X and Instagram, I believe. I'll have a more concrete answer for the board tomorrow, but I know that we do post those to social media so the community can see those and monitor those as well.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Moore?
Chief, one question that did come up through that last speaker, Miko Williams, was about Amber Alerts. Can you let the public know what the process is for getting an Amber Alert put out on someone?
Yes, so for Amber Alert, that's a statewide notification. Everybody knows it goes off on the phone. In order for that to actually be approved, departmentally, we have some things we have to do, then we submit it to the state, and the state makes the ultimate approval. If I'm correct, I believe that's the process. It's been a minute since I've actually put out an Amber Alert, so I can double check on that to make sure. I think if there's anyone here who's actually done it recently, let me know. Otherwise, I'll get back on the board to just confirm to what I put out was correct.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
DC, if I could, through the chair, if I could just ask another question with regard to that. What is the timeline for issuing an Amber Alert? Like what is the gap, the time gap between the time the person is reported missing and the Amber Alert goes out?
So I'll just give a real quick sample. So officers get a call of a missing. They go and they confirm that there is a missing. Either the missing is serious because of mental issues, or it's a juvenile. So there are those cases where Amber Alert, we get the information, we get the photo release from the family, and then we submit that to, I believe we submit it through lien to the state, and then it's released. The time, I would say probably, it doesn't take much, maybe 1-2 hours. Yeah, once we have confirmation.
Okay, I'm asking Ms. Blossom and our team to be able to make sure that those numbers, once we get those numbers, that we make sure on our social media handles and on our website that those numbers are included as they are included with the department. Yep. Yes.
Forgive me, because this is like my second or third meeting. My name is Michelle Goss. Lived in Detroit all my life. When I hear people ask questions about their complaints as far as an officer being inappropriate or doing something that they think is wrong, like you all didn't address that. So what is the process? So like, I understand that, I'm sorry, that people are commenting, but what is the process? Like if I have a complaint about somebody being racist towards me that's in this particular authority, I would like to know what's the process. Like, what do you do? Do you do anything that you can tell us so that when people make a comment like that, at least their mind can be at ease about, you know, something is being done?
Well, that's a good question. That's something that we have already investigated and something that has been adjudicated through the proper channels. And so a lot of times there's not a comment that we can make on it because it's something that has already been done. This is our purview right here. These cases that's inside this folder, and we get stacks of folders on a weekly basis. And so we investigate citizen complaints.
Oh, not the police, not the police, like that guy was asking. So let me just do a clarifying question if I can, please. So is there a place, you said it's already been adjudicated, so is there a place to say, hey, Michelle, you can go check whatever website, and this is the answer about what was decided?
Well, some of the stuff that was mentioned today was something over a year ago that's been already addressed, and it's already been dealt with. So there's no reason for us to address something that we have no power over and nothing we can do about it. You know, some things, oh, are you asking for you specifically? You saying in general, right?
Right, I just mean period. So if somebody, so all the stuff they brought up, I had never heard those things before, right? Because I'm new to this.
Well, if you go view some of our videos, you'll see a lot of stuff.
So I would look under the Board of Police Commissioners site?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
You know, so a lot of this stuff is just muddy waters, you know, and rest assured, when there's a citizen complaint, that our Office of a Chief Investigator is going to make sure that those complaints get handled in a manner in which they should be handled. You know, and if a person want to lodge a complaint, even in this room, they take that complaint here. And if they online, if they want to file a complaint, then they can, there's ways to do that too, online, in here, or going to our Office of Chief Investigator. You know, so it's a process.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, sometimes, you know, there's quite frankly, most of the people who speak at the Board of Police Commission speak every single week. And we meet every single week. You know, I think we meet too much, you know. We meet just to meet, you know, and meet, you know, and they are working and working and working and working in the Office of Chief Investigator. So we have a number of investigators who investigate cases on 5 days a week. And they are diligent in their investigations. They talk to the people who have the complaint. Can you explain the process, Chief Investigator? Because I think that is a very good question, and I appreciate the dialogue.
Okay, I'm going to sit down and hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, and through the chair. As Chair Woods said, that we have supervising investigators here and investigators here in the room at every meeting to make sure that if a citizen has a complaint, we take that information down immediately, and we go back and begin the investigative process. The investigative process, typically in a normal fashion when we're not backed up, lasts somewhere between 60, maximum 90 days that it takes us to investigate the cases. But for a number of reasons, and we'll do another presentation on this very shortly. Right now, our office is backed up with complaints, but that doesn't mean we're not actively investigating complaints. We are, as a matter of fact, just for case of record, for the first quarter of this year, we closed, not just investigated, but closed 614 complaints. That's from January through March. And we received 473 new complaints from January through March, meaning that for the first time in a number of years, we have actually closed more complaints than we receive in that particular period of time. And so our investigators, all 21 investigators, are working extremely hard, very diligently, and we interview the officers. So we guarantee the officers, we gather all of the evidence that we do. One of the things we're not going to do is compromise the thoroughness of the investigation. And unfortunately, some of the investigations may take a little bit of time to get all of the evidence we need to come to a correct finding. Now, one of the things that you might also need to know is that we don't get involved in the disciplinary process. So we don't recommend the discipline, nor do we sanction the discipline in any way. Our job is to make sure we find the evidence and find the facts and present that to this board and to the department for them to carry it further. But our investigators work sometimes 6, I work sometimes 7 days a week to make sure that we are doing it the best we can. And we know that it is an issue with the public, which is why we work so hard. And just so you know the progress of how we're getting those complaints in, about a year ago, we were handing in about 15, maybe 20 complaints a week to the board for them to sign. Now we're doing 48 to 50 complaints every week for the board to sign off on because those investigations have been completed. This board, under this leadership, has worked very diligently to make sure that our office have been fully staffed with investigators, and we had gone years without our staff being fully staffed. So we're doing the very best we can. Certainly, I can go into more detail at another meeting, but I just want you to know that we are working very diligently to get the job done.
Yes, and also we cannot compromise the investigation by speaking about it publicly on certain things too, because we answer the investigations are addressed through this and through the process, and so when there's time for us to comment on something, we'll comment on it. Just like if you was here earlier, we asked about the video that was out there surfacing because that was of public interest, and we wanted to make sure that the public understood what was going on with that process, So, and take a look at our dashboard. Take a look at our citizen complaint dashboard, and you'll see the trends there. Anything else before we don't have a quorum?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, sir.
If I could, so the first I wanted to answer the question. I did get confirmation. So it's the Detroit Police Department's missing page, and that's on Facebook. Currently, year to date, we had 585 missings. 507 have been recovered. 29 were runaways, and 49 are missing. So that's where we stand right now, and that's our year-to-date number. And it's updated weekly on the department's Facebook page for Detroit Police missing. And then for the Amber Alert, that was a confirmation. It is local law enforcement. We get all the information together, and then we submit to Michigan State Police. If it fits the criteria to release as an Amber Alert, then Michigan State Police will issue that alert.
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, Commissioner Banks. You go after her. Ladies first.
Let her go, let her go.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Fight over that.
Through the
thank
chair,
you.
just a quick question with regard to the numbers that you just mentioned. Are they divided or separated by demographics, age, et cetera?
So we're actually working on that now. Chief Bettison, he received a report, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago, and he wanted to have a breakdown by age and sex, and by ethnicity as well.
Through the chair, I would think that it would be very important that we know how many juveniles are missing. I mean, everybody has a priority, but especially, young children, I would think. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Banks?
Thank you. Through the chair. Thank you, through the chair. Yes, there was a young man shot by the Detroit Police Department on the west side of Detroit. Deputy Chief, I'm requesting a video cam on that, if you could help me out, please, because I want to make sure that the Detroit Police Department followed protocol, followed standard procedure when this altercation went down. And then also, I'd like to possibly, if I could, relay this message to you to reach out to the family, because I'm willing to be a shoulder for the family to lean on.
Through the chair, Commissioner, could you give me the date on that incident?
The date,
If you don't have, I can get it for you at a later time.
Chief, Deputy Chief, all I have is the young man that was 16 years old. He was shot on the west side of Detroit, and I don't have a date.
I believe I am familiar with this. This happened last year.
Yes.
Okay, I'm familiar with
Exactly.
this. I'll make sure you get that information.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Chair, you did ask a question about an incident that was seen on social media with two officers who were who appeared to be wrestling a suspect who got away. So the suspect did get away. He briefly got away. The officers were investigating for domestic violence. After the scuffle, both officers appeared to possibly be suffering from broken fingers. We're still waiting on the final diagnosis of that. But the K-9 was ordered. The suspect was he was taken into custody, and both officers are fine. We're just seeing if they have possible broken fingers from the tussle.
That's satisfied, Commissioner Moore?
Thank you very much, Chief.
Yep. When did that happen?
That happened on the 6th.
On the 6th? Okay.
April 6th.
All right. There are no further commissioners. We don't have a quorum, so this meeting is adjourned. Bernard was here and she left.
All right.